Hi. From the I4J list, you've probably learned more than you want to about who I am and what I've been doing. I worked for a Senator Arlen Specter in 2009, the year of the climate legislation, on leave from the National Science Foundation. And that was an incredible learning experience for me. At the start of that year, I believed in this big IPCC report where they said, golly, climate change could eliminate 5% of the world's GNP. And I read that and I said, okay, we should do something, but we shouldn't give it priority over other issues. They're bigger issues. But Senator Specter said, okay, if you can do something that's good for national security and also helps with climate, you can work for me for a year. We'll come up with new legislation. But towards the end of that year, I heard this guy, Peter Ward, giving a talk back at NSF. Forgive me if I've told the story 100 times, but it was an earth-shattering event for me because the head of geosciences at NSF said, we want you to hear from the world's #1 lead real science expert on mass extinctions of life. And almost all of his talk was about past Earth history. And at the end, he said, by the way, look at these curves, what killed off all of these other species. Underneath it, I've given you the curve where we are now. I know this curve. I can pretty well tell if we keep it the rate we're going, we're all dead. And as I walked out of that talk, my feeling was, gee, I don't know if this is true or not, but I want to find out. And if the world's #1 expert on mass extinctions really believes it's going to happen, I want to find out, is it going to happen? How soon? What will affect it? The scariest thing was what he said. No, that was the second scariest thing. The scariest thing was nobody else in the room was asking the question. Half of them were saying, oh, climate change, it's all phony. Well, we just heard a frontline scientist with real data. And the other half of the room said, oh, climate change, I vote for the good guy. So all this talk is about is whether I'm a good guy. I thought, but don't you care whether you're going to live or die? Isn't that also important? But I'm a scientist. I'm not a politician, but I do know something about the science.